Now, usually when I talk about this kind of stuff, it can seem just a big joke. I mean, look how desperate some people are to take offence. It's about race or gender Israel Folau. It's so funny. But put these examples together and the picture becomes frightening. We are, seems to me, becoming more stupid, and deliberately. And I'll give you 3 amazing new examples. First, spot what even rapper Adam Briggs, who identifies as Aboriginal, says on the very sensitive ABC about Aborigines that is still not sensitive enough for the University of New South Wales.
And as for young, we've been here for 80,000 years, but I guess we don't look a day over 60,000.
Couldn't see it? Couldn't see what Briggs said there that was wrong, except, of course, where he exaggerates how long Aborigines have been on this continent. It's this. The University of New South Wales has instructed academics not to give a date, whether it's 40,000 years or even 80,000 years, for when Aborigines came here. In its new language guide to its academics, the university says giving any date offends Aborigines because, it says, dreaming reflects the beliefs of many Indigenous Australians that they have always been in Australia from the beginning of time and came from the land, not apparently from Africa, like everyone else. This is mad. This is anti-science. What are they saying? Let's pretend that Aborigines are the one people on earth that didn't originally come out of Africa, that they instead magically rose from the dirt instead. What kind of scientists and historians is the University of New South Wales actually training? And this idiocy, by the way, has been approved by a working group that includes the university's Dean of Science, Professor Emma Johnson. Now, I've asked Professor Johnson to come on the show and explain this ruling, but she refused, unavailable. Now, this isn't the only example in this university document of politics attacking science. It also tells staff, don't refer to Aboriginal tribes. Nation is usually preferable to tribe because the word tribe is a European word that tends to impart Western preconceptions developed from colonial experiences. But, my dear professors, nation is also a European word. In fact, nation is a European concept that you'd actually struggle to say truly existed in Aboriginal society, which had very few political structures or fixed borders. But I think Aboriginal activists actually wanted to use the word nations instead of tribes to make traditional Aboriginal society seem more sophisticated, to make European settlement seem more an invasion. This is politics at play. And a third example, again from this University of New South Wales, from its Science of Indigenous Knowledge course, which says students will explore the history, philosophy, theory and methods of Western science and ethnoscience. So apparently there's a Western science and then there's also something else called an ethnoscience. What rubbish. Science is science. There's not one set of scientific facts for whites and a different set for Aborigines. There isn't. I mean, it's the same laws of gravity as deduced by Isaac Newton that stops us all from floating into space, Aborigines and non-Aborigines. We all circle the sun in orbits first posited by Copernicus. Black or white? You know, you got to wonder. It's not enough that our political class is super sensitive already to the feelings of Aborigines, as we saw again today with this new parliament being opened with an Aboriginal smoking ceremony and tributes even from the Governor-General to Aboriginal culture. It's not enough that we also now have some politicians trying to change the Constitution to divide us politically by race. So we must now have science divided by race as well? Universities must stop telling scientific truths that could offend activists from one race? This is absolutely frightening. And there's a PS. A final example that offends me personally, and I ask you to indulge me as I play a couple of clips. I love opera, all right? That is one of the most sophisticated art forms ever created. But more than 190 very woke people in the arts world have signed a petition complaining that too many heroines in opera are subservient victims. That's the phrase they use. And they demand a questioning of the systemic acceptance of gender-based violence in opera. I mean, dear God. These are people who want fewer performances of the kind of operas that most people actually like watching. And great operas that show the values of their time, sure, but make us reflect on our own. What an attack on knowledge. How intolerant and how ignorant. In fact, the greatest, the most popular operas have got lots of great female characters, if these people only bother to watch, characters who are absolutely not subservient. Mozart's Marriage of Figaro. That's got Susanna, who punishes her husband for seeming a cheat. Puccini's Tosca. She stabs to death the man who jailed her lover. Here's an idea. Maybe we should ban operas showing gender-based violence by women. And why don't we ban all these stupid attempts to close the Australian mind?